Welcome back to Hansberry Honeybees. It is December 29th at about 5 o'clock p.m. And what am I doing today? Trying to stay warm. We went from 70 degrees yesterday to, well, with the wind chill, 6 degrees this morning in Louisville, Kentucky. And what does my wife do today? She decides to wear a jacket with she decided to wear a jacket with holes in the pockets, and we spent about 20 minutes trying to find her phone out in the yard because it fell out when she was doing her chickens. I don't get it. But anyway, what am I doing today? I'm in the barn, and it's not heated, as you can tell. I had gloves on for a while, but you can't work in gloves, and I'm trying to save some money. I didn't comb my hair either. Oh, let me show you this. This is probably going to drive somebody crazy. Look how dirty this is. I wonder if I could get somebody to come over here and clean my shop for me. And maybe even turn on the heat. But I don't have heat. Let me set this back down. Yeah. That came with the house, just so you know. So what am I doing today? Well, I'm building bottom boards, I'm building nuke lids and nuke bottom boards. And I'm trying to save money. So what I do is I go to, well, this was from Menards, and I buy what they call MDO plywood, which stands for medium density overlay. It's what a lot of companies use when you see the billboard signs up next to the interstates. This is what they do. There's also some called HDO, which is high density overlay. And most of the time, that's probably used for like concrete skins where they put on steel forms. But they also do signs as well. It's kind of like an outdoor application. This is too, in my opinion, it's better than pine. It's better than cypress. You probably can't see, but it actually comes with a skin. That's probably just a hair under 1/8 of an inch skin here. My hands are wrinkly too. On both sides, they're pretty well both. This is a skin on both sides. Like I said, I got it at Menards. It runs about $100 a sheet. Pretty pricey. The HDO, I did find that at a concrete store called White Cat, but it was only one-sided, and it's like $140 a sheet. A friend of mine did tell me today they can find it, but they usually want to buy large quantities, and he said it's double the price of MDO. So what I've been doing, and I don't know about anybody else, but this is a rant. When I first started beekeeping, I was told, oh, you got to put it on cinder blocks. You got to put them too high so the skunks don't get in them. You talk about a pain to you know what, putting hives on cinder blocks. The freezing and thawing, the wind, you always have to worry about them blowing over. You have to ratchet strap them down. In my opinion, that's too much of a pain. So I'm starting to kind of get away from the cinder blocks. What I'm actually doing, come on now. Beep. Yeah. Is I'm actually buying 4x4s, and I'm actually cutting this. So this is going to be a two-way pallet, and I'm just cutting this MDO and making pallets with this. My yards, a lot of them are unlevel, and it is a lot easier to level up this than it is cinder blocks. You know, I can just kind of put a 2x4 underneath each corner. It's going to be good enough. I don't ever have to worry about them blown over. Now, people will say you have to worry about skunks. I don't. It is what it is. You could put them on a 6x6 or whatever you want, but yeah, every now and then I see where the skunk's been clawing, but I see them clawing around my cinder blocks. Long and short, I don't worry about it. So each piece of the MDO or HDO, well, what I bought was 4x8 sheets. And it took me a little bit of time to make sure I used it the best of my ability. So I'll tell you that, like my pallets here, it's roughly 33 by 20. And on my 4x8 sheet, that's good. Let me shut this off. My wife was out here a while back and the compressor kicked on, and for whatever reason, it kicked on, it scared her, so she punched me. I don't get it. But anyway, so on this 4x8 sheet, I actually laid it out, that's almost 33 inches. I laid it out the 8-foot way, and I also laid it out the 4-foot way to see what mileage would be better, and it's virtually the same. I got one more bottom board out of ripping the 33, it would be the 20 inch, so it was 20 inches by 8 feet way. One more bottom board, but I actually got some more scrap for, we'll just say, the cleats that I'm ripping down. So it's virtually a washout. So what else? Oh, let me set this back up and I'll kind of show you on the chance you don't know what I did here. So I'll be right back. On this bottom board here, basically, it's going to be a 2-way. That's good enough. And it works great. I didn't design it. This has been around for years. You put your the only problem you have is that you do have to use a migratory lid, because obviously this is not the right lid, but they'll put together, so telescoping lids will not work for this. Now, I also have one out back that I set this pallet up for, actually a 3-way, and I run a 3-way hive during the honey flow. I actually put a queen excluder on. It's designed, it's the exact same pallet, so actually it's like a 7-frame, don't hold me to it, but I think it's a 7, 6, and then a 7. I put 2 queen excluders on it, and I put my supers on it, and those 3 hives will work together to produce honey. When the flow's over, I do separate them, because I found that when there's a flow, they work together and don't hurt the queen. But when there's a dearth, they actually did kill the queen on the other side of the queen excluder. So, but I do like it. They produced a lot of honey for me. Not this year, last year. So, that's where I'm at. I won't give you the details of how I put it together, just because it's pretty boring. But with 4 sheets of MDO, I ran out of, I only had so many 4x4s. Where am I at? I only had so many 4x4s, but 4 sheets will make 12 of the actual double. So technically you're getting 24 bottom boards. I think it was, what was it here? 17 of the lids and 14 of the bottom boards, plus I'll be able to make 10 of the 2-inch spacers for like fondant or whatever you pollen patties. And that piece there is going to be for the balance of the spacers I have to make. But I'll show you a little bit. If you do your math right, that little scraps, the scraps are on my tailgate. Those scraps. This is going to make up the balance of the sides for my spacers. And like I said, that piece over there, that 20-inch by 33, it's going to be for the slats here that go on my pallet. And that is all the waste I had. Now, one thing also I'll point out, that these spacers, I'll just show you on this bottom board. That is just a curly 1/under 7/16. I'm not going to have to use mouse guards for these, which I probably won't winter very many nukes. But you know, you don't need the 3/4 inches, because when you use 3/4, you know, when you put your frames in here anyway, the bees have to build a little ladder comb to get up there in the first place. And with 7/16, I don't believe a mouse will get through. Now these here last year, I actually made just a hair under 3/8 here. So, but it is what it is. They're both gonna work fine. Now, let's talk about price. I've been blessed with an Amish dealer not too far away from me, and here's his sheet. And I paid $418. And even if I would buy it from him, the unpainted prices was still pushing $700. Now, granted, he doesn't sell two-way pallet, but I just basically figured 24 bottom boards at his price. And then I priced these pretty well accordingly, unpainted. When it was a grand total, if I would have just bought it straight from him, it was pushing $700. Now, grand total, if I would have bought this from the big box store, is $1,172.77 without tax. Now, a lot of people might think, well, yeah, but you have all the tools. No, not really. I did all this with a table saw, a slide miter or a miter saw, air compressor, and a little stapler. So most people, and an air compressor, most people have an air compressor. Most people have a circular saw. So if you're going to do beekeeping very long, it's definitely worth the investment of learning how to make your own stuff. Now, I will tell you, I've learned this because I'm dumb. This last time I painted everything, as you can see, the plastic goes on the ground. I painted, it's cold out here. I painted the 4x8 sheets with a roller, and I painted the whole entire sheet instead of making them and then painting them individually. That's why you'll see my cuts aren't painted, and I'll have to come back and of course paint all that. And I'll put a paint, I always paint here because capillary action will suck that water back inside. I actually will paint even in this ledge right here all the way around. So if any water does seep into there, it will actually penetrate and come back out instead of soaking in this skin, which it won't, but you know, you definitely don't want to further any problem with these plies right here. So other than that, that's about it. I hope everybody had a great day. We got New Year's Eve and day coming up. Just be safe out there, guys. There's no reason to go out and drink and drive and kill somebody and ruin everybody's lives to have fun. You don't need to get drunk to have fun. So, enough of being a parent. I hope everybody has a great evening, and until the next one.